We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now, our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World and a Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And this is episode 202 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Say it with me, James. Episode 202.
Pro Wrestling Talk. BTR.
BTR. Oh my God, you ruined it. That's all right.
No, I didn't. How?
You said BR. You BTR.
I got excited.
Got a little worked up.
You know what?
Still hasn't showed up. Still has not showed up.
Who hasn't showed up?
Say it with me, James. Max
Dupree. But you know who did show up? The men and women that competed at Money in the Bank over the past weekend. I thought it was great stuff.
I'm blending in with the background here. The ladders are taking over me.
Yep.
There we go. Anyways, you're right. They did show up because there was a Say It With Me, James premium live event that occurred over the weekend, over Saturday, July 4th weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that? We could have been there. Vegas, Las Vegas. The Vegas of Loss in Nevada. We're not there. We weren't there, but
unfortunately, one of us had to work. Ethan.
I think I was working. I actually did work that day too. So
yeah, I know.
Was that me? Are you blaming me?
Yeah, I work too, but I'm blaming you. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got some new Money in the Bank winners. Let's talk about the women's. Let's talk about the women's. Kicked off the show.
Mm-hmm.
We had the competitors of Becky Lynch, Asuka, Lacey Evans, Raquel Rodriguez, Shotzi, Liv Morgan. Is that everyone?
Alexa Bliss,
thank you. 7 women competed in that contest. Some entertaining stuff, can't go wrong with the multi-person ladder match. Everyone likes those crash and burn moments.
Can we talk about who predicted what?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You got the predictions.
Sir,
I was a little behind. I was at work.
I'm like, who am I supposed to get my predictions to? Ethan didn't text nobody, and I
forgot.
No, to be fair, I was a little confused before we get started with the match with the women's Money in the Bank match. I was confused because I forgot it was on Saturday.
It was on Saturday,
and I thought it was going to be on Sunday, and I kind of didn't know, but I still have to
switch it off sometimes.
They do.
Sundays, well, Saturdays too.
But I think now it's supposed to be a lot more Saturdays. I just think I'm still not used to it, but I feel like the last one was on a Sunday too. Hell
in a Cell was Sunday. I remember that being a Sunday.
And then what was before? There's been a few WrestleMania, right?
That was Sunday.
That might have been a Sunday. Well, and then we got Saturday, Sunday. So
maybe this was Saturday. Yeah.
So maybe this is the first of a run of Saturdays, but I think it's still interchangeable. We'll have to find the pay-per-view schedule because I remember they released that, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that something that was released? And so while you do that, I'll read out the predictions. Do you want me to read all the predictions, or you just want me to read the Money in the Bank for the women's match?
Go ahead and read out the women's one.
Okay. So I went with Liv Morgan, and Ethan went with Becky.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob.
SummerSlam, sorry to interrupt. Saturday is Saturday. SummerSlam is on Saturday, July 30th. So that's Saturday. Go continue.
SummerSlam's on Saturday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I went with Liv Morgan, you went with Becky, and Rob went with Raquel. I could see how all three of those were good picks.
I'll be honest, I was going back and forth between Liv and Becky. For some reason, I don't know, because it was a last minute addition. I think Becky just kind of seemed.
Well, who was the last minute addition? What do you mean?
Becky. She was the last entrant.
Was she? Okay.
Yeah, she earned her opportunity last in that last chance qualifying match. So yeah. I don't know. They like to do that sometimes, but no, I'm not completely surprised. You actually got this one.
What do you mean? I actually got this one?
It's like the first time you ever get one right.
No,
start it off.
No, I've been all in on the Liv Morgan hype train for some time now. It made sense.
I don't know.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I think you're wrong.
No. when they decided to push her, it was pretty much right after Ruby Riott was released.
I don't know. She's been in a few different tag teams, so
no, I know, but that's how far back it's gone. Like as soon as
it's been stop and start. Yeah.
No, I don't even think it's been stop and start. But even when Ruby Riott reunited with Liv, it was like, okay, they may be doing a little something here. Then they release Ruby Riott, and you're like, oh, okay, now what are they doing with Liv? And then all of a sudden she's doing that. I forgot what she did, but she kind of was in the mix on some things. Then I felt she had some momentum. I think she beat the champion like random, or she beat Sasha randomly.
She did. Yeah, I believe so.
When she was a champion, right? I think even that's when
this
Becky
was like last fall.
Becky and Sasha were there, or I mean Bailey and Sasha were together, and I think she beat something like that. Anyways, she was starting to get pushed somewhere, and I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, she gets put into this tag team with Rhea.
That was last fall.
And no, has it been that long already?
Yeah, it was last fall.
Okay. Anyways, so she does the thing with Rhea. It's been a little bit.
Maybe not, because she had an opportunity at day one. She was competing. She was a contender for like starting last fall.
Yeah.
For the title.
Anyways, Liv's been in the mix.
Mhm.
She gets put in this tag team with Rhea, and that's kind of like meh. Anyways, they get past that.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Clash of the Castle and Survivor Series are on Saturdays.
And Clash of the Castles. Is the overseas one.
Correct.
Okay.
Those are on Saturdays. Continue.
So, anyways, Liv Morgan has been getting pushed a little bit here and there. And I might have even said on this show last week, but I know I told my brother over the weekend that Liv Morgan needed to win Money in the Bank, or what's the point? What's the push? Like it was now or never. They'd been building her up. She'd been in the mix of things. It was now or never. And that's why I went with her, because they needed to do something. And if they were going to continue to do anything with her, this was it, or she was going back to the bottom. That's how I felt. Now tell me why you went with Becky and why you're wrong.
I went with Becky because you can't go wrong with Big Tempacts.
Well, you were wrong. That's the problem.
Well, that's an issue there, because Liv got in the way.
Okay. But think of it this way, though. Asuka and Becky can be number one contenders just because whenever they want. They don't need the briefcase for that.
You're saying Liv Morgan never stood a chance against them.
She would not just randomly become the number one contender.
She did at one point. Wasn't she at day one the number one contender against Becky?
Didn't she have to earn that match?
Yeah, but she was a number
That's
one
what
contender.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Asuka and Becky can come back from an injury and just be the number one contender. Just to be the number one contender. That's what I'm saying. They don't necessarily need a briefcase. So that's why I thought it was Liv. I thought Rob also had a good pick, an interesting pick. If you're looking for a dark horse, I thought Raquel Gonzalez, or what was it? Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Rodriguez would have been another good option. I don't know. I have this thing where I don't think tall people should always win the match. I don't know. I feel like because they can't jump off a ladder or something. I don't know. There's something about it why I just don't. I don't know. I think they're just there to do bumps, not to do bumps, but to create spots.
She was impressive in the match.
She did good. I thought the match was good. But yeah, do you want to go over it, or do you just want to just take me at my word that Liv's better than everybody else in the match?
She was booked better than everyone else in the match. Yes, I agree.
Oh, okay. That's what we're going with.
Yes, that's what we're going with. Before we move on to what Liv did,
it's
time to acknowledge the Tribal Chief.
For what? He hasn't done anything in like 2 weeks.
Still undisputed Universal Champion of the world.
Yeah, because he didn't have a match.
There's no worthy competitors.
Brock Lesnar, apparently. Okay. John Cena.
Apparently
John Cena was in the building. John Cena was in the building at Raw.
Not booked for SummerSlam, apparently. We'll talk about that.
We will talk about that. But anyways,
let's go back to Liv.
Go back to Liv. When you saw Liv, you didn't watch it live, right?
No.
So
I heard what happened. I was aware of what
you were aware of what happened before you even watched it or whatever, right? And so
Yeah.
when you hear this, are you surprised?
A little bit. A little bit, yeah. I was a little surprised. Move on to the SmackDown Women's Championship match.
No, wait, I'm not done. I think for Liv, they still have to do it right. They could still mess up all of this, right? And I think that's the thing. Or you're gonna get there. You're gonna get there. But I just think they gotta do this right with Liv, because it can still go bad, right? So now, before we get into the next match, I'm just gonna say that I don't think what happens next with Liv is what I was expecting to happen, but I thought that made it all the more better. Oh, just jump into the next match.
SmackDown Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey versus Natalia. This happened later on in the match.
Good old Natalia.
You're very disappointed, weren't you? Heartbroken.
Yes and no.
On Bret Hart's birthday.
Yeah, a little bit.
This is a good match. You know, Ronda Rousey carrying Natalia to a good match.
Ronda Rousey carrying Natalia to a good match. Please elaborate.
Well, you know, she brought her in the main event, Spotlight. Now James is gone. You know, he ran away. He's so offended.
I just had to turn my camera off to hide my anger for the BS that you're spewing right now. But
oh dear,
I thought it was a good match. I thought Natalia put on a classic and worked the leg and gave Rhea, not Rhea, but Ronda a run for her money. And you know what? I'm kind of surprised we didn't see Shayna Baszler in any of this.
No, she was
I really thought she would be more involved in this. Because we talked about it last week, where, you know, with the little segment they had before the show with Ronda and Baszler, I really thought she was gonna be a factor here, and I totally forgot about it during the show until right now. I'm just now remembering that. But maybe it all makes sense for what happened.
They didn't show it on TV, so I guess they don't want to use it.
I don't see why not.
Ronda's leg was injured, I believe, during the match, as you mentioned. Natalia was working on it.
By the sharpshooter, yeah.
Correct. And after, Liv Morgan came out and officially cashed in her Money in the Bank contract, and she defeated Ronda Rousey. But not after going through an ankle lock.
Yeah.
It could have gone a different direction.
It could have gone a different direction. And they were hinting at that. And I thought that made it great, because it wasn't just the normal cash in, so-and-so's down, they're just going to jump on him and pin him, right? I thought they worked it out great, because I was like, oh no, Liv's about to mess this up. And they're really only considering carrying one briefcase storyline going forward, and they're ending the women's one right now. Which one would have been silly, because if I was competing in that match and I did a ladder spot or something, if I was Becky or Asuka doing some of those ladder spots, and all for the title to mean nothing, or for the case to not go right, I would have been a little upset. But yeah, I do think it worked out, and it was interesting to see her win the title. But also, I'm not sure how I feel about Ronda just shaking her hand, putting her hand in the air, congratulating her, and leaving. Especially since they've already teased for SmackDown that Ronda Rousey's supposed to come out and kind of address or speak on how things played out at Money in the Bank. I don't know how I feel about that. The way they made it out, it was almost like kind of this goodbye deal, and Ronda should be maybe stepping away for a little bit. Obviously, maybe that's not the case with SummerSlam. I don't know if she's really hurt or what, but if they're having her lose the title the way that they did, one, what's going on? But also at the same time, why do they keep putting Natalia in bad spots? Why not have her, you know, I don't know. I'd rather you have Natalia win the title and then have her beat it. But I guess it makes sense if you have Ronda lose to Liv.
Apparently, Ronda pushed for Liv to beat her for the title.
Ah.
That was apparently a report going around.
Okay, to be honest, do you think the fans enjoyed Ronda as champion?
No.
I didn't either. I don't think it didn't do anything for me. Maybe from a money financial standpoint and notoriety, sure, maybe. but she didn't do anything for me, and I don't remember the crowd ever like being happy, like yay, like maybe when she first came in, right? But
no, she doesn't need the title.
I don't think she needs a title, but she's gonna be in title matches, so she's
Sure.
gonna win more titles. But and I think there's still matches there. Like, has she had a match? She probably has a match with Charlotte already, right?
Of course, she beat Charlotte. Well, yeah, she did defeat Charlotte for it.
Okay, so they had that. Maybe she didn't have one. There was someone I feel like maybe she didn't have a match with, but there's still some matches out there for her. For example,
Bailey and Ronda.
Is it Bailey and Ronda? Maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Where's Bailey at? Is she coming back?
She should be due to come back. I thought maybe we see her there, or maybe she comes in time for SummerSlam. And because remember, they said she's supposed to be ready for WrestleMania, so or could come in at WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens there. But I think it's great. They had Liv come out on SmackDown, on Raw, and even though she's a SmackDown champion, right? They had her come out on Raw, cut a promo. The fans were behind her. She got a nice promo. I thought everything was great. I think WWE's doing it the right way. I think they're good. They come out of this night building some new stars, or at least the potential to start building some new stars here. And again, it was nice to kind of see a little bit of a payoff for the things they've been doing with Liv. And I just hope they just don't think, oh, the title's on her, that's it. They need to continue to push her to the moon and keep going with it. Obviously she's going to be an underdog in some matches and stuff, and that's okay. But build a good storyline, have something around her, make me care. That's all I ask for.
When we return, we're going to talk more Money in the Bank. We're going to talk about the men's Money in the Bank contract. We're going to talk about the Raw Women's
Bobby
Championship.
Lashley.
We're going to talk Lashley, the U.S. Championship. We're going to talk about that and much more on episode 202 of Beyond the Ropes. We'll be right back. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ, HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 202. Say it with me, James. 202 of Beyond the Ropes. Of course, we are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. You can follow me over on Twitter at Ethan95. You can go ahead and follow producer Rob Flores at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget the R2 DMs for Ethan.
Go ahead and follow Analyst James Williams at
JHW Reporter.
Not to go backwards because you guys are in different view here.
Oh.
Like Rob is at the bottom of my screen when he's usually next to me. So James, you're on the side from here. Right
really?
Here. Right here.
Interesting. That's different.
Oh.
You guys are in the same
direction.
You guys are in the same spot for me.
I don't know why. Technology.
Yep.
Go ahead and follow us collectively on the Twitter machine at RealBTR Radio, as well as Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. And of course, YouTube, just to see our beautiful faces. Go ahead and follow, I guess it's Rob Flores. You have your channel, Rob Flores Media. Go ahead and find us at Beyond the Ropes. Just search up Beyond the Ropes. Search up a random episode. You'll see our beautiful faces there, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Go ahead and give us a like, a follow, share with your friends, comment,
subscribe, download, tell your friends, tell your tag team partner,
tell your handicap partner,
your significant other, your
manager, your employee, your
financial advisor, your tax person. Tell everybody.
The guy you go to the gym with, the guy you see at the gym every day if you go to the gym.
And that you don't talk to, but now's the perfect time to talk to him because you're going to tell him about our show.
Exactly. All right, let's talk about, let's continue Money in the Bank, right?
Yep.
Austin Theory defended the United States Championship against the almighty Bobby Lashley. What are those predictions throw out there?
Let's see.
Let's see indeed.
So I went with why did I go with I went with Theory.
You were very, very. Now you're trashing me about my Becky Lynch prediction. No, you were very adamant leading up to the events that Theory was not going to lose.
I explained why, and I will explain in a minute. And I mean, considering what happened, I would have changed my pick. Anyways, Ethan went with Lashley, and Rob went with Lashley. All right,
the almighty.
Right. I get it. I get it.
It was not a squash match. I thought it was at the beginning because obviously I saw this later.
Mhm.
I saw the results. I thought, oh, maybe it is going to be a squash match, but no, it was actually quite a fast-paced match between two guys who are not, cruiserweights.
Yeah.
This was a fun match. This was a really enjoyable match. Both guys went back and forth. It was kind of nonstop. There wasn't really any slow moments in the match. It kept going, and ultimately the almighty Bobby Lashley locked in that hurt lock and made Theory tap out, and we have a new U.S. champion in Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, we do. We got a new champion there in Bobby Lashley, and it was a great match. But the thing, again, that I'm most surprised about actually happened the next night on Raw, when you have your United States champion open to the July 4th show. All kinds of America, right? After the nice promo that a nice little video package they always do for Martin Luther King Day and 4th of July and all that. Bobby comes out, is excited as all heck, and says, "I've been waiting a long time to do this. Welcome to Monday Night Raw," as if it's Saturday Night Live or something. But I felt he cut like it was a good promo for whatever it was. I don't remember the words. I don't remember what he got across other than that he was excited to say, "Welcome to Monday Night Raw." But I knew exactly what he meant by it when he was saying it, because that's kind of what Vince would do sometimes. But
they do it every week now with different superstars.
They do it every week. But the last person you're expecting to hear it from is Bobby Lashley, who starts the show with Bobby Lashley. Remember, this is Bobby Lashley,
he's a megastar, sir.
But they say he can't talk. They have to put him with MVP, yada yada yada. I thought he handled himself pretty well out there, and the fans went nuts for Bobby Lashley. I don't know if it was just because the 4th of July, he's the United States champion, or what.
They were going nuts for him on Money in the Bank. I think they just don't like Theory, but in addition, they were chanting Bobby. They were chanting
for Bobby. They were all in on Bobby. He's over, brother. At least on 4th of July, he was in Money in the Bank. We'll see what happens going forward. And I want to apologize to Bobby Lashley.
You should apologize
for not picking Bobby Lashley, and I've picked him several times over.
Very disrespectful.
I think the thing is, and we'll get into it here with Theory, and we'll talk about more about what happened later in the night with Theory. But I just thought they were either going to have Theory win and continue to say he was the youngest United States champion, or they had something in mind with him and John Cena, as we've been talking about, and they were trying to get the.
It's going to happen. It's just not what we expected.
It's not what we expected, and I'm not entirely sure how they're going to get there, but I liked what they did here. And you got Bobby over, or gave him the title. Let's see if he can remain over, but I think things are going well so far. It's worked out pretty smoothly, and the fans really hate Theory.
They don't like Theory, and that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. That's what they want. Yeah.
Hopefully it's not go away heat. It's not the X heat as they called it.
Yeah.
I think he's just good at what he does. Since we're at it, let's talk about the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, shall we? Let's talk about the competitors in there. Seth freaking Rollins, of course. Come on now, the Visionary. He looked great. He was wearing different colors. It was great. See the coat he was wearing. Like a flare robe.
I don't even remember his entrance, to be honest.
I'm gonna unplug this.
All right. Anyways, while he leaves, Sami Zayn was also in the match. As he mentioned, Seth Rollins was in the match.
He was. Yeah. Continue.
Almost was in the match.
Almost was almost in the match. Drew
McIntyre was in the match. Damn, Drew McIntyre was in that match.
Drew McIntyre was in the match. Our guy Madcap was added.
Good old Madcap in there. Let's get the predictions. I didn't go with Madcap, but honestly, he probably would have been my second prediction, because I felt like this is the kind of match where just someone could randomly, like, you're looking to make a star out of this match, is what I thought. So the predictions for this match were, Ethan, you went with Seth, of course. Rob, you went with Sammy. There was quite a few people on my timeline who were going for Sammy. I know quite a few.
He would have been an interesting choice.
I think he would have. Because then he would have sat on the case, and
he probably would have gotten destroyed by Lesnar or Reigns. Honestly,
for Oos, no, he was going to sit on it to protect his Oos. As that's right, Big Oos. Yeah. And I went with And I went with Riddle. Riddle was in this match too.
Riddle was in the match. Yeah.
And
all-star lineup.
And I stand by my pick that I thought Riddle I believe he would have won this match if they didn't go in the direction that they did. Now, we named off the competitors there. And what we didn't know, and I thought it was a very good job here by the broadcasting team once it was announced. But as all the guys who were announced in the match, what was it? The 7 guys made their way to the ring.
There was one slot still open that they hadn't announced, I believe.
That was I'm
sorry.
Yeah, no,
they just added. Yeah,
they just did it to do it. So you get Adam Pearce coming out, and all of a sudden he says, "What would make this any better or bigger than by adding another star?" And I'm thinking, huh?
Who is this?
But I wasn't entirely surprised. So of course it's the guy who's being mentored by Vince McMahon and whatnot, and that's probably part of how this happened here. But Austin Theory finds his way into this match, looking to redeem himself after the match we just talked about, where he took a loss to Bobby Lashley. So Austin Theory finds his way into this match, and I thought it was great stuff because you got people who will now only have that much more of a reason to boo him because he finds a way into this match. And as I mentioned when we started talking about this match, the broadcasting team comes in and starts saying he doesn't deserve to be in this match. How is he in this match? And I think they even allude to Vince McMahon being able to pull some strings or getting him in this match, obviously. But
the competitors were furious. Obviously, they what's going on here? He didn't earn his way. Seth Rollins was robbed here.
Oh Lord,
he was. It was like a Becky Lynch situation. After Liv won, Becky was outside yelling and screaming. Mm-hmm. Same thing here could be said for Seth. They were on the cover of the poster. Why weren't they winning here?
I mean, robbed. you got to climb up the ladder like everybody else, and you have to do it. He didn't do it. She didn't do it. But anyways, I just thought too it was a nice touch for the announcers to say, "Hey, it's not fair. These other guys qualified to be in this match, and he just walks in here and he could do it. It's not like he beat Bobby Lashley, so it's not like you can even count that as a qualified man, right?" So again, I wasn't surprised. But so when you didn't catch it as it was happening, right, Ethan?
No, this was later. Yeah.
So for me, when I'm hearing this and I see Austin Theory come out, I knew he was going to win. It was a given he was going to win, right? But to me, it was. I mean, how did you find out he was involved in the match, or did you just know he won?
I found out when I saw the results because they showed up on my Twitter feed. Mm-hmm. But honestly, it could have been a situation where they did put him in the match, but somehow he still lost just because maybe it could have kickstarted another feud or something. Yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, once they added him, I guess it wasn't terribly surprising that he won.
Yeah. So
is he the youngest Mr. Money in the Bank now?
Yes.
Did he say that on Raw?
Yes, he said it on Raw. And I didn't even think about it, but when he said it, that cemented it for me that they did the right thing. Because remember, I said that the whole reason why it was relevant for him having the U.S. title, and the reason why the U.S. title was relevant, and it would be hard to make anyone else have it be relevant anytime soon, is because he was able to say he was the youngest world champion, or the youngest United States champion, considering Dusty Rhodes and everyone else has had it, right?
Yeah.
So they're able to move him off of that belt, and they're able to now put him on the Money in the Bank match, or Money in the Bank briefcase. And the first thing he says on Monday Night Raw is, "I am the youngest Money in the Bank champion." And that's after he interrupts Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley opens Raw, as I mentioned, and Theory comes out and interrupts and says, "Why does anyone care about the United States champion when they should care about the youngest Money in the Bank winner?" I think it's great stuff. And we could talk a little bit more about the match or where we think the other guys will go from here. But for Theory, I thought it was interesting that he was out there with Bobby, and they kind of set up where they're going to have a match, or they had a match on Raw.
They're having a rematch at SummerSlam, aren't they?
Is that what's happening? Maybe.
I believe it was announced for the U.S. title. It's going to be a
I think because he said he wanted it back, right? Like he still wasn't over it.
Here it is. Yes, Bobby Lashley versus Theory for the U.S. Championship at SummerSlam confirmed.
So, and I'm okay with that. It makes me wonder about what Cena's doing. But
Cena is not going to be involved at SummerSlam.
Apparently not. But that's okay, because I found it interesting that Theory straight out said, more or less, I'm waiting to see who wins the Roman Brock match.
Yeah.
Because the winner of that, I'm going to beat more or less. And I thought it was also interesting the way he said it. And I didn't know they were advertising it like this. Last time ever, last man standing match for Brock and Roman.
They have mentioned, the last couple promos, I guess it was last time ever.
Which is fine by me because it should have been the last time ever a couple times ago. But
should have been a Mania. That should have been it. But,
But I just think for Theory, you're saying the youngest ever. I think Randy Orton is still to date the youngest world champion when he won it, when he was kind of in his phase with Evolution.
That was 24. I think Theory is 24. So
okay, so if they want to do that, then it's now or never for that little gimmick. But I think it would be a nice.
Too soon?
I don't know if it's too soon, but I think it's a nice little touch if you're going to have him say he's the youngest United States champion, the youngest whatever. Heck, you call him the Chosen when you did the same thing with Drew McIntyre. Yeah, it took a lot longer. But if you think Theory has the stuff and he has all this heat on him now, why not put the title on him? I think you need to make a new star. It's the same thing with Liv. You need to do it right. You need to have a plan. And the plan needs to have already been put in place and go beyond what they had with him winning the case. I need to know what's going to happen after that. It needs to be set in stone. They need to have it kind of booked out for him all the way to WrestleMania at this point. Maybe not to WrestleMania, but Survivor Series at least.
I'd be surprised if Theory won.
You don't think
if he does win, I'd be surprised if he held it for very long. I don't think he's gonna hold it for very long. If he does cash in, I don't know. It's
maybe.
His first run.
I mean, yeah,
it's his
sure.
First run. I don't think Randy didn't have a long run. Although I think he had some suspension or something which caused it to shorten the
I mean, sure, but name a lot of people whose first run has really have been
exactly.
I mean, the Undertaker's was what, one day?
Kane's was one day, I think, too.
Yeah.
Foley.
Yeah, I think it was.
A
lot of guys' first runs aren't much of anything, anyways. Yeah, but I just think with Theory they got to do it right. They got to make something of them. Same thing with Liv. You have two stars. They say you can't make stars. They say you build them up, do it right. Don't they're not the tallest, they're not the biggest guys and girls in the world here. These Money in the briefcase holders. Just do it right. Just tell me a good story. Let it mean something. They don't have to win every match, but let's make it count for something.
I agree. Next up, we have the Raw Women's Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca Belair defended against the most beautiful woman in all of WWE. She's no longer wearing the face mask during her match.
Yeah, that's great.
She dropped that. It's good. We get to see her beautiful face. Lovely.
And all three of us. Go ahead.
Got to carry Bianca Belair to a good match.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta do that sometimes with Belair. She's lagging it sometimes.
I don't know about that.
She forgot to add sleeves to her jacket, apparently. So focused on her match, I guess, that she forgot to add sleeves. She tweeted. So
who said this?
Belair.
Well, hey, when you do your own gimmick,
maybe it's time to just cut it. Just have someone else make your.
I mean, gear. She could, but I mean, can
making
you
the Street Profits gear? Too.
She's making everybody's gear, but to her credit,
needs a second job. She's not making that money. She's not making the horsewoman money.
Lord, stop it!
Come on, Belair. Come on.
All three of us picked Belair to win this match, so it was no surprise that she, it was no surprise to anybody when she did win the match. And then they had Carmella attack her at the end, and I was kind of, what are we doing? We don't need this. Why? I don't need any of this. Have Rhea be healthy, and let's get that going. I mean, if you're using Carmella to get through a couple more weeks here, sure, but I don't need to see Carmella in another match at SummerSlam for a title.
It was a good match.
I'm not saying she's bad. I just don't need it. Would rather see Rhea and Belair. I know, they've probably been in there before. It was so last minute, and I don't need it to be anything more than that.
Was there another match I'm forgetting?
Yeah, the Usos.
How could I forget the match of the night?
Well, gotta go to commercial.
Throw those ones up in the air. The Usos carried the Street Profits to a quality match, a 45-minute classic.
Yeah, I heard it was a good match. I watched some of it. I was kind of in and out of it. They had a nice little standstill there, and like the fans were like, keep it going kind of deal. They were into it. I thought it was good stuff.
That's what you
want.
Threw those ones up in the air because they won.
And I kind of thought the Street Profits might win. And the Usos.
Well, Montez Ford.
We all had the Usos. We had all the Usos.
You don't bet up against the bloodline. But
what were we gonna say about Montez?
Montez had a shoulder up.
He did. There was some controversy there. Yeah.
So rematch.
So this feud's not done.
Probably another rematch for SummerSlam.
Yep.
Let's give them 45 minutes.
They got to have a stipulation on it, right?
Probably. We got about 10 seconds to go. So we're going to get cut off here. When we return, we're going to talk some more Money in the Bank, I guess, post Money in the Bank results, as well as what's upcoming for SummerSlam. All that and more right here on episode 202 of Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 202 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. We're talking post Money in the Bank, shall we? SummerSlam's coming up July 30th, Saturday. We got Brock versus Roman, last man standing, last time ever. Until the next time.
Yeah, until the next time.
We've got Theory versus Bobby Lashley for the U.S. Championship. What else do we have building up here?
One more time, what was that?
What else are we building up towards here? Yeah, Liv, she's going to be defending that title, presumably for the first time.
Yeah, we don't know against who, though. Maybe
Ronda
Natalya. We'll have to see what happens with Ronda. But with Natalya, she's still kind of there. She actually came out during the promo on Raw for Liv, interrupted and said, you wouldn't have beat Ronda if it wasn't for me. So she wanted a little bit of some revenge there. Yeah, some credit, sorry. And then that led into Carmella coming out and then Belair coming out. They had a tag match. So it looks like we're going to, at least for the time being, get some sort of Carmella Belair feud. And then we're going to get Natalya and Liv maybe short term at least, or I don't know. We'll see what happens with Ronda. Again, I thought it was kind of interesting that they wanted to have Liv out because she's a SmackDown champion, and then they had Natalya out there. So again, the cross brand thing really is kind of out the window again. But it makes sense if you want to get Liv. Liv's one of the big, the big highlights from Money in the Bank. So you're gonna have to have her as soon as possible. Get her out there the next night, build that momentum. Don't wait for SmackDown if you don't necessarily have to. We'll see where they decide to go with Roman and Brock. I'm still convinced that Theory has a good chance of winning here at SummerSlam.
The U.S. title.
If Roman's supposed to be going on this part-time thing, do you think he's going to lose it? Do you think if he's going part-time, he's going to give up the title?
No.
You think he's still going to be the champion? You think he's going to continue doing what he was doing then?
Correct.
And what is he going part-time for?
He works so hard.
What is he going part-time for?
He's earned it.
There's no doubt about it that he's earned this, I guess. But is he doing a movie? I mean, he's making more money than a lot of people who are going to be working full-time, right?
He needs to rest.
Rest for what?
For the important matches. Carrying the show.
Are they that important if you're just fighting with Brock Lesnar over and over?
Yes.
Like, I imagine Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns in a room together. What do you think they talk about when they're going over the match? Like, what have they not done already?
Well, it's last man standing this time.
And that's part of the problem. You put them in a last man standing match, which means what?
No one gets pinned.
Right. And that they've pretty much done everything. And they're like,
had steel cages. Pretty sure
this just needs to be the end. But also, don't be surprised if both get booed the same way Goldberg and Brock Lesnar did.
That's not gonna happen.
Why not?
It's Roman. Be the ones.
I think it's just different because there's the dynamic of the Money in the Bank briefcase. But So you think John Cena's not involved?
No. Was he there on Raw this week?
No. And
No.
even if he was, like, how far out? When is SummerSlam? You said the date earlier, but
July
what
30th.
is?
25 days away.
Mm,
They moved the Theory match to Mania next year.
yes. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Roman and Brock. Also, two things. Well, I forgot one of them, but anyways, did you catch this new vignette promo thing that they have going on?
What do you mean?
They're teasing somebody.
Oh, yes.
And I think it's
started,
either. Go ahead.
They started at Money in the Bank and they continued on Raw, correct?
But that's so. Was it the first time? Okay, that was. I thought maybe I was missing it before. So
I can tell you who it is.
you know who it is?
Mm-hmm.
Can I guess first?
Go ahead.
Part of me is thinking it's Bray Wyatt. My other guess would be it's Edge. The reason why Edge is because I don't know if you've noticed, but in the vignette it says Latino Heat with the license plate as a Kurt Angle gold medal, and there's not many guys who have competed against both of them, other than Edge. Maybe Edge is still coming back with a little bit of an edge, a gimmick there. I don't know, but you're looking at me like I'm wrong. Who?
Well,
Please make it good. Please don't mess this up. How do you know?
I know.
How?
I have insider. I have my sources.
All right, go ahead.
I'm like the wrestling observer. You know, got my people on the inside.
All right, go ahead.
Edge.
It is Edge.
They have the Hardy armbands and the Dudley glasses. It's Edge. Okay. It's Edge.
I didn't even notice that. I just noticed because they flashed the gold medal a few times. I didn't even pick up on the Hardy. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Edge, but it's almost very Judgment Day-ish.
It's brutish, if you will.
Yeah, there's like candles and stuff now.
Yeah, there's candles. Is he just did it? Did they decide? Okay, well, we're just gonna give you a different group, or?
Well, I mean, this isn't very babyface. It wasn't a very babyface, you know.
Who else could it be? It can't be anyone else, can it?
I thought you knew.
It's Edge.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. But it's like
it's just a guess. I don't have sources.
I mean, I know that, but okay, so you don't know for sure if it's Edge.
No, but it's kind of obvious if it's for SummerSlam.
Did you really see the Hardy thing in there?
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it again, but I think sure it could be Edge. That's fine. Like I'm okay with it being Edge. It just looks like a Judgment Day vignette, so I'm not sure what we're doing there. But also, Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio made well, for Dominic, it was his debut at SmackDown. For Rey Mysterio, as he mentioned, it was the first time he's made, at least for performing for WWE, performed in San Diego in 10 years, he said.
Wow.
So that was pretty neat. So both of them come out, and they actually had a match on Raw against Judgment Day.
The Judgment Day?
Yeah.
Finn's got new tights.
Who got Finn had new tights? Okay, Finn did. I didn't notice that, but
he got the long tights.
Okay, he did have. I guess I did notice that and didn't think anything of it. But I thought it was interesting that when they came out for their entrance, that you had Dominic look a little misty. Yeah, he got pretty emotional for his first time being out there for San Diego. Obviously, he knows and heard a whole lot about it from his father. And obviously, you know, if Rey Mysterio's from there, then it's his hometown too, right? For Dominic. So you can tell I got a little emotional. I think the broadcast team even kind of mentioned that a little bit. So that was a nice little moment for Dominic Mysterio. Continues to have some of these moments early on in his career, his first of this, his first of that. And yeah, I think that's kind of cool for him. And he'll get that first one out of the way. And
they defeated the Judgment Day, didn't they?
I don't remember how that ended, but I think I do remember Judgment Day. Oh, Judgment Day was kind of standoffish in the ring, and It looked like Ray and Dominic did kind of escape or something. So yeah.
They
I
did the
didn't
Eddie
catch
thing.
the finish, but yeah, I saw the Eddie. Oh, did they light cheat? Did they light cheat and still? They did the chair thing because
They did the chair thing.
all I saw was Dominic with the Finn with the chair.
Mm-hmm.
So I caught how he got the chair, but it didn't click right away until after I kind of realized. And I think Eddie Guerrero was even trending last night for that reason too. We had R-Truth out there, dressed up as his Uncle Sam, and I forgot who beat him up or what. Gunther, that's right. Gunther was out there.
On SmackDown, he showed up.
Yeah, so he was out there. He wasn't even featured on the show. So again, kind of random for him to be there. But yeah, you gotta get Gunther over. And then one thing I liked about Raw for the 4th of July was they did this barbecue behind the scenes backstage deal. And they said earlier in the night, right? So it was like the barbecue before the show. They had like 3 different storylines come out of it, more or less. I forgot what one of them was. One of them was Almost, and he was kind of featured in that with MVP. The one that really stood out was the one at the end with Ezekiel pouring ketchup on Seth, messing up his white shirt and suit. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, so he messed up his suit, or not his suit, but it was his little fishnet shirt thing. I don't know. It was weird. Anyway, so that led to a match right after. The Almost they didn't lead to a match. And then there was another one. I'm forgetting what else started. What else was part of that vignette? But they were able to spin off a few different things. And the reason why I bring it up is because I just thought it was neat that you can have one shot, one thing, and it could tell the story. Now, if there's some way they can kind of do that, even if it's just to tell 1 or 2 stories to set up the night, I think is great. They were able to do this for the second hour. It was about 5 or 10 minutes scene, and I got 3 different storylines that progressed or started or wherever the storylines are at respectively from that one shot. Now, 4th of July is not going to be every week, so you're not going to have a barbecue every week. But if there's ways you can tell stories that can set up at least,
you can have a potluck. A little potluck.
I mean, it could be potluck. It could be catering. It just something. There just needs to be something that I like, something that will set the tone and tell me what's happening that night, right? Like it tells me a story instead of just throwing them out there and that being that. Speaking of which,
July 11th.
We should have went to San Diego show.
Speaking of which, they're coming to
where? You don't know.
Coming to Anaheim.
When? They're probably about due to come to Anaheim. I'm surprised they actually didn't make their way back out here, loop around or something.
Hold on.
I thought maybe if they did Vegas, go to LA, and then have SmackDown in San Diego. But they did not do that.
Why not? Where did I see? Where I thought they were coming to Anaheim.
I think they showed a few dates, but I didn't see LA on there.
Am I crazy? Am I insane? I might be crazy.
I think you are crazy, but I wouldn't rule out LA. I mean, I don't think they would miss the market completely. Maybe they did a house show. Maybe they did house shows out this way.
Let's
well, they're probably going home. They probably went home at this part, right? At this point.
They might be going home, but
they probably went home.
Let's talk about some NXT Great American Bash. It was the 4th of July weekend, of course.
Go ahead.
I don't have anything. I'm relying on you because you watched some stuff, right?
I didn't watch it, but I caught some of it. Go ahead with your toxic attraction.
Lost their tag titles.
As they should have. How do you feel about it? Are you disappointed?
Mandy Rose looks great. She looks beautiful, stunning.
Do you know how they lost, or did you see a clip, or?
I don't know who they lost.
This was Cora Jade,
Roxanne, and Cora Jade,
and they were trending. So I saw that, and people seemed to be very high on the card for the pay-per-view. So they had that going for them. But in terms of like, I didn't catch. Your
guy Cameron Grimes ended up.
Cameron Grimes, yeah. had a match against Braun Breaker. I kind of figured maybe he wasn't going to.
I think I'm insane because I could have sworn I saw LA somewhere. Maybe I dreamt it. Maybe it was AEW.
It might have been AEW or it might have been.
Anyways, when they come to LA or Anaheim, we gotta go. You gotta assume they gotta be back at some point this year, right?
Yeah, before. Yeah, I mean, when is the next time we're for sure they're coming? WrestleMania.
Probably the holiday.
I would think they're gonna be out here at least twice more. Oh, the other segment from that for the July thing was Veer. Oh, and Otis. Otis threw up his hot dogs. They did a hot dog eating contest and it paid off. I think he got kicked in the gut and he threw it up on pretty much on Gable.
That's gross. That's gross.
I'm just telling you what happened.
I don't want to hear that.
Just telling you what happened. Real quick, the youngest United States. Oh wait, the youngest WWE champion is 25. The youngest Universal champion is 32. So even if he finds a way just to win, even if they want to take a little time and give him the Universal title, it'd still be in range of breaking that record by a lot. You know what I mean? So I think they're in good shape with having him say he's the first, whatever. I mean, however they go about breaking the titles off, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know how that's gonna work out.
I don't know how it's gonna work out either. But yeah, going back to Cameron Grimes real quick. Yeah, didn't get the job done, but that's okay. Looks like Cameron Grimes is gonna get pushed into something else because I saw a backstage segment after he tried getting interviewed and he wasn't about it. He was disappointed about the loss, but then the lights started flickering on and off. So I'm not sure what the deal is there, but I don't know if that's Joe Gacy. Maybe we got to watch AEW and find out what Johnny does. I don't think Johnny would come or he would have gone the same with Cesaro. He maybe would have showed up on that pay-per-view, but yeah, anyway, so that's kind of it. I'm trying to think of what else is out there.
No update on Vince. Apparently Stephanie and Triple H did hold a meeting before Money in the Bank. Mm-hmm. So
it seemed to be
positive.
Yeah, Biggie neck update. An update from Biggie on July 4th. He says, update, my C1 is ossifying. He said ossifying. Anyway, thank you, Biggie. He put forming a bone. His C1 isn't forming a bone quite yet. The current plan is to get more scans at the 1 year mark and see how it's progressing. The great news is I feel tremendous and surgery's off the table.
To the 1 year mark?
He said the plan is currently to get more scans at the 1 year mark. Aren't we like 3 months in?
Biggie might be done.
At least for the time being. I mean, he might be on the edge track and we might not see him for 4 or 5 years. At this rate. So that's a little unfortunate.
That's some bad news. We got to break it here. We got to go. That news wasn't too sweet, but we're going to throw it up anyways, I guess.
Rob, you can't just say Johnny Gargano and then give me some Biggie sad news to read. But
goodbye. Until next time.
Goodbye until next time. See you later. It was kind of sweet. I don't know.